Well, welcome back to the iWealth podcast. I'm here today with Kristin Gunsolus, who's an attorney with Jones Law here in Mankato. And I want to talk to you like this whole mystique, this whole stereotype of lawyers, like they want my money and it's so expensive and blah, blah, blah. Like I've been doing this for 30 years. I know how important it is to have a good estate plan and a good attorney that's on your side. But what's it mean to sit down with you? Why is that stereotype? Why is it scary for people to in their mind to sit down with an attorney? And then what's it really look like? Like, let's dispel the myth here, if there is one, is dispel. But what comes to mind when I say it's scary to meet with Kristin?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me, Brad.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably two main drivers of that, and one would be cost, as you hinted at. I think people have this idea that, it's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars to do an estate plan. So I think cost is one of the things that keeps them away. And then another is that people just don't want to talk about it. Like, death isn't easy to discuss. They just kind of don't want to approach that issue. If there's conflict among their family or the kids or something like that, it's just like, we'd rather just not deal with it.
Sure.
So those are probably the biggest reasons why people, don't do their planning. I will say I hear quite frequently from people, once we've gone through the process, at the end they'll say, well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it did. And that's the reality, is it doesn't have to be a scary process. It's really just a conversation is what it is. It's having us as the attorney, it's meeting with the clients and figuring out what are their goals and their wishes and what's important to them. And then our job is to just make that happen within the documents that we draft.
Yeah. I think, a lot of times, Kristin, like when I sit down and meet with clients, for the first time with you, it's like, it's a conversation about what's the ballpark expense, or not even expense, investment for them to make to get these documents done. And then what's the expense if they don't do anything, like the estate taxes and different things that can kind of pile on. So I think, a best practice in my mind is when you meet with a lawyer, ask them what's the investment going to be to get this planning done, right? What would you say, like just ballpark, if somebody's going to put together a trust and, they have under $5 million net worth, and they're going to put together a trust. Is it, 3 to 10 grand? Just give me a ballpark. What's that in Southern Minnesota? What's that average cost?
I would say around here, average trust planning will be $3,000 to $5,000, something like that.
Okay.
If you're doing will planning, that's usually on the less expensive end. So, you can usually do will planning for $1,000 or something. It's going to depend on the attorney you go to. I know our firm does kind of flat fee planning. So basically when we're meeting clients, we're going to meet with them, assess the situation, what their goals are, what their plan should be, what we're going to advise they do. And then we're going to say up front, this is what the cost will be.
Sure.
I know one of the biggest things people don't want is kind of those surprise expenses, or they pay their bill and then they receive another one in the mail and they're like, I thought we were paid up. So I think the transparency of the fees is a big thing in how you get people to the table to do their planning and just say, this is what it's going to be, and they know that up front. Yeah,
and I think if they know that, they can plan for it, and then they can get their peace of mind planning done. I too agree that once clients go through this and they get their documents done, that they sleep better at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just good to know that they have it there. So it doesn't have to be scary to come in and meet with an attorney.
Take the first step, and then I assure most people that it'll be a good experience. I mean, obviously it comes down, you want to find the right attorney to work with, the right advisor, but it shouldn't be painful.
Right. What should they gather? Like, if they're going to have a really good first meeting with you, do you send out something that they should, like inventory to kind of get ready? Or, I mean, is it as down to tax returns? Like, what are some of the common things that they should get?
Yeah, I mean, family information is a big thing. So, attorneys are going to want to know, who your children are, what are their ages, addresses, things like that. The biggest thing is going to be kind of a list of the assets. And a lot of the times people kind of are put off by that, and they think, they only want to work with me if I have a bunch of money. And that's not the nature of it at all.
Sure.
The reality is in order for us to plan, from a comprehensive view, we have to know everything that's out there. And the reason is, as you know, Brad, your estate plan is affected by beneficiary designations on financial accounts. So it's really important to make sure everything is coordinated. So it's important that the advisor has all that information, full inventory of all the assets, so they know what they're working with and how to best make sure that the plan is effective.
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of times when our clients are meeting with an attorney, we'll print out their balance sheet, we'll print out their kids, we'll kind of give them that information so they can take it in. So if you're working with a financial advisor, ask them. They probably, if they're doing their job, they would have a lot of that asset mix, who owns it, who the beneficiaries are, to arm you when you go see an attorney.
Yeah, we, once in a while because we ask our clients to fill out kind of an organizer and inventory, and once in a while we'll get some pushback and people will say, no, I don't need to fill that out. I just need a will and I just need a transfer on death deed for my house.
Right.
Then we could sit down with this person and realize, well, they have 3 children, but one's in jail and one has a drug problem, and so all of these things that people don't necessarily think about. And that's why we're kind of asking these questions about the family information, the assets, because we want to be able to, give proper, accurate advice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for showing up today, giving us some insight on not being scared to sit down with an attorney, and being able to get those documents done is so important. So thank you, Kristin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thank you.